Sayyiduna Ali Allahu Ta'ala Anhu. My dear brothers and respectable listeners, I would like to present a few humble words to mention the dignity of Sayyiduna Ali al-Murtadha radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. Sayyiduna Ali al-Murtadha radiyallahu ta'ala anhu was the cousin brother of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was married to the youngest and dearest daughter of Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. His family was respected throughout Arabia. They enjoyed great religious reverence all over the Arabian Peninsula. He was brought up under the care of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. My dear brothers and respectable listeners, Sayyiduna Ali al-Murtadha radiyallahu ta'ala anhu was 10 years old when our beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam announced his prophethood. He is the first child who accepted Islam. He offered his prayers with the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the earliest period of Islam. After Islam, he stayed in Makkah for 13 years. My dear brothers and respectable listeners, our beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam preached Islam secretly for 3 years. On the 4th year, Almighty Allah ordered him to admonish the nearest kinsman. Our beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam assembled all his relatives and invited them to Islam. He also sought their help in this mission. The majority remained silent, but Abu Lahab, the real uncle, uttered rude words. Sayyiduna Ali al-Murtadha radiyallahu ta'ala anhu was just 14 years old. He answered the call and said bravely, "Though I am the youngest among these who are present, my eyesight is imperfect and my legs are thin, but I shall work for you shoulder by shoulder." He kept his word and proved his claim throughout his life. Islam was spreading by day and night. The unbelievers took it seriously and they wanted to curb this movement very harshly. They used all means of cruelty towards the Muslims. Meanwhile, Islam propagated in Medina. The Muslims of Medina invited Meccan Muslims to come and settle in Medina. They promised to provide them with any possible protection. The beloved Prophet ﷺ allowed oppressed Muslims to migrate to Medina, and they migrated. Our beloved Prophet ﷺ was still in Makkah. The unbelievers feared that if he joined the Muslims in Medina, they may obtain power and attack Makkah. They decided to murder our beloved Prophet ﷺ. Almighty Allah informed his Prophet ﷺ about the entire plan and advised him to leave Makkah for Medina. Our beloved Prophet ﷺ made Sayyiduna Ali Allahu Ta'ala Anhu sleep in his bed to divert the attention of the infidels. It is a rare example of sacrifice that the house of the Prophet ﷺ was surrounded by the fully armed pagans, and inside Sayyiduna Ali Allahu Ta'ala Anhu was sleeping peacefully. Our Prophet ﷺ migrated secretly. Sayyiduna Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu stayed in Makkah for 3 days. He settled all the matters of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam according to his instructions, and then he also went to Medina. Sayyiduna Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu participated in all the battles for Islam. In 7 Ahak, Khaybar was invaded. Here the Jews had some very strong fortresses. The victories of these strongholds were considered very difficult. Various companions were appointed to conquer them, but they could not succeed. Our beloved Prophet ﷺ announced, "Tomorrow I shall give the army flag to such a brave person who is beloved to Almighty Allah and His Messenger. Khaybar is destined to be conquered by him." In the morning, every person wished for that honor, but it was bestowed upon Sayyiduna Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Our beloved Prophet ﷺ handed over the flag of Islam to him. He made a courageous attack and conquered Khaybar. There was no kef after the martyrdom of Sayyiduna Uthman radiallahu ta'ala anhu for 3 days. The people requested Sayyiduna Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu to be a caliph. At first, he refused to accept the heavy responsibility of caliphate, but when Ansar and Muhajirin both compelled him, he agreed. On Monday, 21st of Zidul Hijjah, 35 AH, the people took oath on his hand. 3 men of Khawarij, Abdur Rahman ibn Muljam, Albert ibn Abdullah, and Amr ibn Bukhair, gathered in Makkah and made a covenant with each other that they would kill Sayyiduna Ali. It was 17th of Ramadan of the year 40 Ahadar. Sayyiduna Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu woke up before dawn. As he was going to the mosque, Ibn Muljam stood in front of him and struck him with a sword. He struck the top of his forehead, reaching the brain. Sayyiduna Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu lingered for Jummah and Saturday and passed away the night before Sunday. Sayyiduna Hassan radiallahu ta'ala anhu, Sayyiduna Hussein radiallahu ta'ala anhu, and Sayyiduna Jafar radiallahu ta'ala anhum washed his body. Sayyiduna Hassan radiallahu ta'ala anhu led his janazah prayer, and he was buried in Kufa at night. Sayyiduna Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu had extraordinary knowledge, wisdom, and experience. He was acknowledged as the best interpreter of problems. Sayyiduna Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu used to say, "The best among us to pass a judgment is Ali. Almighty Allah gifted him the art of delivering speeches and oratory. His speeches had always been highly rhetoric, full of knowledge and wisdom. He never bowed before anyone except Almighty Allah. He was an example of piety in the world. Although he was poor by way of worldly riches, he possessed a great generous heart. Nobody who came to his door for any requirement returned empty-handed. His great distinctions were simplicity and hospitality. He was courageous and brave.